This
Very good.
conference will now be recorded.
So have you tried this EC2 AWS stuff?
No, Lalit, I'm not finding really time to do any practicals. I will definitely find some time to do.
Sure. Great. So if you remember, like in our last session, we were looking into application services like SQS, SES, SNS, correct?
Right,
And
right.
during the SNS lab session, we had some networking issue and we left due to that.
Correct,
So
correct.
today's session will start from SNS lab session, and then
Okay,
we will look at CloudFormation and CloudWatch services. Can
okay, sure. Thank you.
you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Thank you.
So I'm in my AWS console, and if I go back and search SNS here, the simple notification service. Here it says this is the dashboard. This is the first, welcome page of AWS when you don't have any topics created, when you don't have any resource created in this SNS. So this is the welcome page. You can
Okay,
directly create a topic. So you can name it that um, welcome demo. Let's call next step. Now, for every mail you receive or for any kind of push notification you want to send, do you want to send an optional display name like in our mail, whatever the subject line you provide? So, do you want any kind of subject line? Do you want to provide that so that you can do? Yeah, welcome
okay,
to just call it welcome. Now, these are the certain things that is completely optional. The first is encryption. If you want to encrypt the tunnel between whenever the any push notification is sending, let's say from EC2 to notification is sent to SNS and SNS is then forwarding to your email. So do you want the entire process to be encrypted? So you can do that. Basically, whatever the transaction, if you are dealing with the financial transaction, this is your account statement of this month uh, by any of your banking statement you receive. So all these things you can do via encryption.
okay,
Then access policy, that is again an administrative access policy. Who can publish a message? So only the topic owner. That is, if I am creating a topic, then I am the only one who is allowed to send a message. Or if you want to make it everyone, so anyone on your AWS account will be able to publish the message.
okay,
Then define who can subscribe to this topic. So if I am the owner of this creator of this topic, then I have this authority to create a subscription. But if my team members are accessing this AWS account and they are configuring all the things, so then I want to have everyone. So any AWS account can subscribe to this topic. Means it's like a public access you are giving. So again, access policy is like an administrative policy, like our access control list, like our bucket policy. Similarly, this is access policy.
okay,
Then delivery retry policy, like if any failure occurs in sending the notification, push notification, then how you want to retry, how frequently you want to retry. And delivery status logging, that is if a message is delivered and if you want to receive that logs of received messages, then you can enable this option. So these are completely optional. The thing is you need to provide your name. Now this name should be unique within your AWS account. It's not globally unique required. And just hit on create topic. Now
okay,
our topic has been created, and here you can see this is the name of our topic, this is a display name, and this is a ARN. If you study ARN once again, the format of the ARN is same. ARN AWS service name, that is SNS, in which region it is, AP South 1, in which AWS account, this AWS account, and the resource is welcome demo. Now this defines the uniqueness among other SNS topic worldwide available, globally available. If you have some created a welcome demo, same SNS topic, then to differentiate between your SNS topic and my SNS topic, this ARN will work. That is AP South1, that is in which region it is deployed, and the account ID. So this is the uniqueness that we'll find in every SNS topic or every AWS resources. Then, as you can see, we don't have subscription, which means you cannot just whatever the message you want to deliver, whatever the notification you want to send, you cannot send to anyone. You don't have recipient in your subscription. So to do that, just hit on create subscription, and here you can define which protocol you want. Do you want to send over HTTP, HTTPS? Then you can do email. If you want to send it to SQS, if you want to perform any Lambda function, you can do, or any application endpoint like mobile application like test.example.com, any domain you want to ping. And if on that point, if any of your application is running like mobile application, iOS application, then you can do that. So for testing our connection, we'll go with the email, and here you can give your endpoint. So let's give my email ID.
Okay.
And hit on create subscription. Now, when I created this subscription, it is currently in the pending confirmation. So it says here pending confirmation. Can you just tell me your, so that you will receive the same, and or you will look into how it works exactly? Can you share me your?
Pardon me?
Can you share me your email so that you will also get the same notification? You can also see how.
Yeah, it's a GOPI.
Yeah.
S for Sam.
Okay.
MUMUNAGALA @gmail.com.
Okay. So you will receive now an email notification saying that you need to confirm the request. So if I just open my mail and just receive. So, okay, you can see this kind of notification. You can see you have chosen to subscribe this topic, and to confirm this subscription, you can just click on confirm subscription. Now, if you remember, whenever you log into a new site, any social media or any application site, you whenever you create a new account, you always receive an email that says you need to verify your AWS account, verify your account, email account, correct?
Yes,
So
yes.
this kind of account verification can be done. This is kind of similar, like you are just subscribing to this SNS topic. They are, at that time you are just basically subscribing to that topic. Now you might have a different interface. At the time, the company will design their own interface, and they will map this link, that is confirm subscription link, to their email, and in this way they will create. But
Okay.
even if you want to do that, but the process is same. Once you have click on confirm subscription, then what will happen? They will send you promotional messages. So when I click on confirm subscription, I receive this message like subscription confirm.
Okay.
But this kind of messages you won't see, because they encrypt this link with their email ID, with their custom email ID, with they have their own interface, like click on this verify link and etc. Now,
Okay.
if I just go back to the topic and come back here in the welcome demo, it says that confirm. So both of these are confirmed. Now, whatever the notification that I will push will now receive to both of our email ID. To send a
Oh, okay.
notification, just publish notification. So whatever subject you want to describe, this is optional. And here you can say, okay, so and send publish message. Now we will receive an email. You can see here, welcome. I welcome to AWS course Vikas AWS Reconnect. Did you receive the same?
Yes, I received it.
Yeah. So in this way, you can send a notification to n number of people. So whatever the number of lists you will have in this subscription list, all the people will get the same messages. Now, if you want to have any transaction messages happening, or if you want to have any, whatever kind of message you want to send, like if you are running a production account and if there is any, downtime occurred or the order scaling failed to, spin off the machine, then whatever the number of email address you will provide here, your email ID, your manager email ID, your team members email ID, they all will receive the notification that the auto scaling failed to spin off the machine, etc. Or you
Okay.
can also do such kind of thing, like we already have seen the VPC flow log. Okay, what exactly the VPC flow log do?
Um,
It basically logs all the incoming and outgoing
right,
connection made.
right. The actions are whatever we do transactions.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if someone is trying to penetrate your VPC, or if any of your team member is trying to access some of the services that he is not allowed to perform, then all these things will be logged in your VPC flow log. Now you can create a CloudWatch alarm saying that if anything, some kind of this actions is occur, that is the request is rejected, then send me a notification, that is SMS notification. So at that time you can select this topic, and whatever the subscription member will be available, this kind of message will be sent that from this IP address or this person is trying to access this services which got rejected. So this is called as incident notification system, incident driven system. These are also called as, and this plays a very important role when you are designing an infrastructure as a part of a solution architect. This is not that it will come in exam, but this is something that you need to remember as a solution architect, that you need
Okay.
to design a system based on the incident driven. So if any moment any kind of incident is happening, you should get a notification so that you can perform a better action on it. Okay, so this is very important
Okay.
when designing an AWS infrastructure.
Okay. Sure.
So this is the basic of topic. So whenever if you want to create an essence topic and if you want to try, you can do it. It will not charge you. AWS gives you free 1 million requests every month for free for you. So
Okay.
you can try as many as you can do.
Sure. Thank you.
Now we will proceed to our next chapter, that is CloudFormation. Now before proceeding to that, do you have any idea about how to write a JSON file?
I heard about JSON file, but I didn't write any JSON file so far.
Okay. So let me
It's
just
kind of
give
a
you an overview.
configuration file, right? Configuration file.
Yeah, this is same like a XML.
Right. Right.
So this is an online editor, JSON editor online, which I find which is very comfortable with it. If you have anything which is comfortable to you, like a notepad or anything, you can go with that.
Okay.
Thing is like JSON always start from curly braces. Okay, this is a basic syntax, and this is key colon. This is value. This is a format of a JSON. That's it. This is the entire complete JSON, how you write a JSON language. Okay,
What is the
the
key?
thing is,
What is the value?
exactly, yeah, I tell you. So whatever you want to take a requirement from the customer, like name, okay, in our CCPP program, we call as name is equals to Lalit. Okay, so the Lalit value will be stored in the variable name, correct? In much similar way, this key is a variable and this value represents the value which is assigned to this key. Okay,
Okay.
so to start from the curly braces, whatever the key you want to mention, that needs to be under double inverted comma, separated by colon, and then again whatever the value it should be always under this process. Now, if you want to go to the next step, you need to mark here is comma. This is very important. Again, let's say there is one more key, colon. Now, to mark this key, there is multiple values available. I want to have, for example, like this key is called user. Okay. Now this user has many information like username, user age, user gender, user email address, user phone number, etc. So to perform that, if you want to have multiple values, you can add one more here, and you can add multiple values like name Lalit, comma phone, SK, then email, etc. Whatever details you want to provide. So this becomes an a multiple. Again, this is a key, this is a value, this is a key, this is a value, this is a key, this is a value. The
Lalit,
only
a quick question.
yeah
I understand key value syntax,
yeah
but user user and whatever you are saying, name, phone, email are values, right?
yeah
For
no
user.
no no see, this is a key. Okay, the key is username. Okay,
Right. Right.
now whatever comes here, this is the value to the user.
Correct. That's what
This is
I'm saying.
value to
Value
a
to the
user.
user will be having name, phone, email.
Yeah, but this
Okay.
value contains multiple values, again multiple parameters. So to
Right. Right.
define the multiple parameters, you can just have one more this kind of braces, and you can mention again the same format. You need to go with the same format again, and you can do it. Now to a single key, if you have multiple values, let's call user one. Now this has multiple user and you want to define an array, so you can also define as an array called user name, whatever it is. You can just, I'm just giving the sample demo, tag value kind of thing. So here in the same way you can do. This is an array, which means a single value will have multiple values, and this is something that which will be a value contains another separated value. Now again, if this name contains multiple values, then you can do like this. You can again open this braces. Let's say first name Lalit, last name. So again, defining a user will have multiple values. Again, there is a one parameter available. In that also there is multiple values there. So this is just a format of how we write an JSON language. Okay,
Okay.
is it comfortable to you? Like, or do you need to me to once again repeat all this thing?
No, no, this is fine. I think this is fine. Yeah.
Okay, so you can use any editor. The reason why I choose this JSON online editor is like if you click on here, you will see a list of all the things that you have created. Okay, you can have easily access to the amount of things you are creating, because in our CloudFormation template there will be thousands of lines you need to write. So at that time, it's this kind of thing will help you to look into the your code at higher level.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
it.
Thank you.
And if that thing is not properly maintained, if not properly formatted, and once you click on this here, it will be automatically format all the thing based on the JSON language. So this is why this is very easy to understand, and it uh, reduces the overhead or for maintaining the format. It will automatically format all the thing. So this is
Okay.
just a simple thing about the JSON.
Sure. Thanks.
So let me just open PowerPoint. Okay. So we will go with the cloud formation.
Lalit, I was told basically tomorrow you will be finishing up everything.
Yeah. So
Okay,
today we will see CloudFormation, CloudTrail, CloudWatch, and then tomorrow we will see Route 53, Lambda, and Well Architecture Framework.
okay. But afterwards, I think if I have any questions, how do we contact?
You can take my email ID, and if you have any doubts, you can just drop me a mail. And if you want to have re-session on anything like a particular service, one or two service, then whenever my next batch will be, you can join that.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you. Could you since you have my email address, could you send a test email to me so that I will
Yeah,
respond?
sure, sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So CloudFormation. A CloudFormation is an easy way to create and manage a collection of AWS resources which allows orderly and predictable provision. Like if you want to create multiple resources, which means an entire infrastructure of one VPC, inside that you have created one internet gateway, then you attach the internet gateway and few public subnet, few private subnet, and then you create an EC2 instance in that subnet, you create SNS notification, you create all these services. Now this entire infrastructure, whatever you're creating via console, all these things you can do via CloudFormation. Now with CloudFormation, you can maintain different multiple versions of the same CF template. Okay, for example, today you have created one VPC, 4 subnet, and 2 EC2 instance. In future, if you want to update that service, like a new service is come into your infrastructure and they'll require one more application, one more EC2 instance. Now you can just easily edit the code and update the existing stack. Now, when we talk about using the AWS CloudFormation for creating all these resources, AWS CloudFormation doesn't charge you at all. It's completely free service. But whatever the services you are creating, like EC2 instance, VPC, Internet, Net Gateway, which is by default chargeable to you, that charge you need to pay. There is no separate fee for accessing the CloudFormation. Whatever the charges you are going to occur for having access to EC2 or any other AWS services, you need to pay only for that. There is no
Okay.
special fee, there is no extra charge for accessing the CloudFormation. So how it works? First of all, you write a code that is your infrastructure of creating a VPC, of creating etc. services. Then you validate the services via AWS CloudFormation Validator tool. That all these things are well formatted based on the JSON or YAML language. And once it is done, then you upload that code to AWS CloudFormation or via S3 bucket. Also, you can upload. Then what AWS do? AWS verifies the template. AWS checks all the parameters and how your infrastructure is designed. And once it is validated, then you can then AWS will create one by one resources. Whatever the resources that you have mentioned in your CloudFormation template, it will deploy all this code. So these are the 4 steps which involve when designing, when implementing this infrastructure as a code. Now, CloudFormation is an infrastructure as a code, IaaS. It is also called as SaaS, software as a solution, which means it's a package of software which will use to deploy the infrastructure. So it's also called as SaaS. It's also called as infrastructure as a service, IaaS. So this is format of a CloudFormation template. It again begins with the braces, and the first key is AWS template format version. Now this is something format version that is defined by the AWS. That is 2010-99. This is not a date when you are designing the AWS CloudFormation. This is something that you need to remember very carefully, because most of the people end up with writing the today's date, 2019, 04 and 21, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not a date, it's the AWS template format version when this is defined by the Amazon itself. Now this is something that you don't need to remember. Whenever you go to CloudFormation template, you will find this format version there. So nothing to remember here. Then
Okay.
description. Now description is completely optional parameter. If you want to include, you can include. If you want to don't, then you can remove that. So description includes a description about this template. It's like a tag. So whatever the things you are doing in this template, like one VPC 4 submit, if you want to mention that in this description, you can do that. Then there are 4-5 parameters. That is basically a component. That is parameter, mapping, resource, output. So what exactly? Let's see. There is components of CloudFormation. We have parameters. A parameter is something that you can take a input from the user while creating an infrastructure. Mapping, mapping of the AWS resources, conditions, resources, output. So these are the 5 components of CloudFormation. So what exactly a parameter is? A parameters is an optional section. It is again an optional section. There is only one mandatory section in this component is resources. Without resources, you are not allowed to validate the template, or you are not allowed to execute the template. A resource is only the one section that is mandatory. Apart from all these other full components, that is completely optional. If you want to include that, then you can. Otherwise, it's okay if you don't want to. Like that.
Okay.
A parameter is the optional section that customizes your template during creation of stack. So for example, like you want to create an infrastructure that's called one VPC and 4 subnets. Okay. Now this infrastructure you need to replicate every single time whenever a new client comes. Okay. If you have 10 clients, then you need to execute this template. You need to create such kind of infrastructure for 10 times. Now, just for the scenario purpose example, if you hardcode a particular VPC ID, VPC range in your infrastructure, that is, let's say 10.0.0.0/10, then every time you replicate this infrastructure, you will receive the same VPC range, correct? Because you have hard coded that part in your code. With parameter, you have an option. You can provide an option while executing this template. The user can enter any kind of VPC. Like for this infrastructure, for this client, if I want to go with 10.0.0.16, I can go for the next 20.0.0.16. So basically, a parameter is a parameter thing that where you can provide a user to enter their custom data. Like here, you can see there is an example given parameters, and inside that parameter, my first parameter value is instance type parameter, which says what kind of type it is. That is, whatever the thing I am entering the data, whatever the user is entering the data, it is a string
Okay.
type of. What are the default value? Like T2 micro, if AWS user doesn't enter anything, so this T2 micro will be by default selected. Allowed values, what are the things that is allowed a user can enter is T2 micro, M1 small, and M1 large. And in the description, you can say that these are the only 3 values that is allowed. You can select any of these. So you are providing a user to enter a custom data. For a single infrastructure, the user can go with the T2 micro. For another client, the user can go with the M1 small. Now this becomes reusable of your code. The same CloudFormation template, you can use this for n number of clients, n number of customers. Okay.
But
Now,
in this case, you have only 3 allowed values, right?
yeah,
So the user cannot enter more than these 3. Among these
yeah.
3, he
No,
has to
user
choose
need
one
to
of them.
select any one of this. User need to select any one of this. There is either
Okay.
T2 micro, even M1 small, or M1 large. So this is
Okay.
just an example. You can give the n number of lists here. I will show you one demo. So where you can show list n number of things where user can easily select that. Now there are certain conditions with respect to parameter. There is maximum 60 parameters is allowed per template. Now for a single template, maximum 60 parameter you can ask user to enter. If you have more than that, then you need to divide your template into 2 templates, and you can take 60 parameter. Each parameter must be given with a logical name. Like if you see here, the instance type parameter, the second line. Now this is the something that is uniqueness in your AWS code. Okay, this define the uniqueness what you are referencing. Now, for example, when you are trying to launch an EC2 instance, at that time this value will be required, like which instance time you are taking. So at that time, this instance type parameter is very important to know. If you have multiple values available with the same instance type parameter, then this code will get confused. So every time, whatever the parameter you are assigning, whatever the name you are giving, that needs to be global, logically unique within your code. Each parameter must have a type. There is parameter type, whether you are accepting a string, number, or true false kind of value. You can assign, and there are other string parameter types available. There are some parameter which is defined by the Amazon itself. We will see into that. Parameter must be declared and referenced from within the same template. So the limitation of parameter is within the same template. You cannot refer one template parameter from one template to another template.
Okay.
Then the second part is mapping. A mapping is an optional section again, which matches a key to a corresponding set of name values. For example, there is a function called function find in map, which interesting function to retrieve values in a map. Now just imagine a scenario like you have designed a CF template. Okay, as we have just seen a scenario like you are deploying a CF template for multiple clients. Okay, now some of these clients are from US, some of the clients from Australia, some of the clients from Singapore, India, and other section. Now this is not a good solution, like if that code is only restricted to have a particular region only. If that particular if that that AWS CF template is only be allowed to have a executed in the US region. So with the mapping thing, you can map different AWS region. So what will happen? This code can be again reusable to any of this infrastructure, whatever in which region you want to deploy. For example, if that CF template want to implement in the US, I can do it easily. I don't need to specify which region I am. It will automatically fetch it. So similar, like when it comes to region specific, there are some few of the services that are region specific, like AMI ID. Now here you can see the another example. If I want to go with the Ubuntu, okay, now the Ubuntu AMI ID in US is different than the same AMI in Mumbai region, correct? AMIs are region specific.
Yes.
Yeah. So here I can map all the AMI IDs here with that particular Ubuntu server. So if that Ubuntu server AMI ID in the US, each one is AMI 04827DC9, then I can mention here. If the same AMI ID is different in US West one, so I can just copy and provide it here. So what will happen? If this code is created in any of this AWS region, it will automatically fetch that particular AMI that I want to create, and it will deploy the code. Okay, so this is how you reuse the code and make it more reusable and more functional. The third parameter, the third component is condition, which says a condition is the optional section again that contains a statement. So basically, if you want to provide any conditions, like if this thing is true, then go with that. If thing is false, then do that. So there are few functions like function and, function equals, function if, function not, function of. So if you want to compare anything, if you want to define arithmetic logical here, anything kind of thing, then you can use this function. This is completely a kind of option section again.
Okay.
And then this is one of the most resources. This is one of the most mandatory section that is required. The required resources section declares that AWS resource that you want to. So now whatever the resources you want to create, an EC2 install, an S3 bucket, and SNS notification, you all need to define within this resource. So our first resource you can see here, my EC2 instance, and the type is here AWS EC2 instance. Now this is something that AWS is providing. You don't need to remember. And because of this string, the type that is AWS EC2 instance, the CloudFormation detects that you want to create an EC2 instance. If you provide AWS EC2 VPC or AWS VPC, whatever the type is, from that type, this CloudFormation identifies what kind of resource you want to get. If you are creating VPC, then the type will be AWS VPC something. Based on this type, this CloudFormation will detect what kind of services you are creating.
Okay.
Now, creation of this EC2 instance will have multiple properties like selection of AMI, selection of security group, root volume device, and other configurations that we have seen. So all these things you can define in the properties. Now, one important point here, you might be thinking like, I don't know what are the properties available and how to define all these properties if I miss something, or what will happen.
Yes, yes.
For all these things, you don't need to remember a single line of code. There is a AWS documentation available for every single resource you want to create. You can just go to that documentation, AWS documentation, and copy the code. Because the thing that you have seen in the AWS interface, like for creation of VPC, you have just seen like entering the data of like VPC name, VPC range, and tenancy, and just hit on create VPC, and the VPC will be created. But if you see at the infrastructure level as a code, then there are other few more options. There are few more parameters that you want to enable it. So it's best way that you refer the AWS documentation for your reference, where you will get all this code ready-made. You can customize in your way. Then the output section, that is if you want every output or whatever you are creating, like ELB endpoint or EC2 instance public IP or SNS topic name or ST bucket endpoint, all these things, if you want to export into a single interface, then using this output section you can do. Now another benefit of output is like, if you want to create a cross-stack account, cross-stack template, which means like you are coupling one template with another template. Okay, which means like there are two templates which are interlinked. A part of this infrastructure is written in template A, and a part of infrastructure is written in template B. Now
Okay.
there might be a case like you want to map some of these resources, like a VPC is created in template A, but for any kind of resource which is creating in VPC template 2 requires the information about the VPC that you have just created. So for that purpose, what you can do, you can export that value. Okay, so template A will export that value, what is a VPC ID, and this VPC ID you can import in template B. Did you get this scenario? Like from one template you are exporting the data, and from another template you are importing that data, so that the
Yes,
user
yes.
does not require to enter all these fields. Again, the user will not require to select the particular field. It will be a bi-directional. Okay,
Right, right.
so this is something that you can do via output. So these are the 5 parameters. These are 5 components that you need to remember, and this is
Okay.
basically a CloudFormation. Now, if I okay,
And one more thing, I forgot to
yeah.
ask. The cloud formation will work only for my resources, right? Within my account, my user account, my root account.
Didn't get your question exactly.
So I mean, like in a cloud formation is only going to work for my user account within Amazon. So if I wanted to create my own resources, I can create and I can do whatever I want to do, downloads, uploads within my account region, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean within my account I can create multiple, uh,
Yeah. Within your
areas.
AWS account, you can create various CF templates, hundreds of
Yes,
CF
yes.
templates. You can create. Yeah, you can do that.
Right, right. Okay.
So you can search here CloudFormation. So this is AWS CloudFormation console, and this redesigned CloudFormation, console is available. You can try it here. This is something that redesign infrastructure is redesigned. That's it. Apart from that, all the functionality of the AWS is same. So to
Okay.
create a stack, you can just click on create stack, and here you can select if your template is ready, you can upload it a template file, or you can also refer the S3 URL. If you want to go with the sample template, like AWS is providing certain sample template, lamb stack, Ruby on Rails stack, WordPress blog, etc. You can choose this and create an infrastructure. Or there is also option of create a template in a designer. So AWS is also giving an option to create template in a designer. So what is designer? Let's see. Now, a designer is a place where you can just drag and drop the services, and it will automatically write a code for you. For example, like if I want to create an EC2 instance, so I will just drag a EC2 instance, and it will automatically write a code. Okay, but this will just write a code. Again, you need to define the properties explicitly, whatever exactly the property you want to have in this EC2 instance, like EMI ID
Okay.
and other. That still
Right.
you need to define. And for me, this is something very difficult to manage, like attaching an internet gateway, then having all these things to do. Because again, you need to go to AWS console and do all these things, configuring the each and every path. So in better case, I would always prefer to write my own code so that I can get rid of this all these things you can see here. So, and you can see like there is this AWS Cloud template format version available. So this is by default, which is always present. Let me just close
Right.
and show you once. If I just hit on again, create stack, create designer in template, create template in designer. If I click on template, you will find this is a basic thing that will be present. So you don't need to remember. You can just copy this and here.
Okay.
Now let me just go use this again tool to create my AWS services. Okay. So first thing what we will do is we will create a resources. resources. Okay. In the resources, let's say I want to create a VPC. So what I can just simply Google it, AWS CloudFormation VPC. And whenever you see this kind of links, AWS : EC2, this is a direct link to CloudFormation.
Okay.
And here you will find the entire, code. What are the things that will be required to design this VPC? Here you will get a syntax. What is the syntax? In JSON language, in YAML language. Both of these languages supported by the CloudFormation. Now, as
What
I
is the
told you,
YAML language? What is that? That is new to me. I never listened. I never heard of.
YAML is something like in JSON you are having a strict you need to obey a strict discipline, like having this braces, then inverted comma, colon, and all these things. But if you click on YAML, you don't have anything. You can just write it one by one, and here also you need to maintain a format, but there is no much such difference. Even if you write a code in JSON and you want to study in YAML language, you can just click on YAML and it will automatically convert that file into YAML. And if you
Okay, got it.
have a code written in the YAML and you want to sync to JSON, if you could just click on JSON, it will automatically convert that file into JSON.
Okay.
So resources, let me just, as you remember, like during the session, I told you that there are certain properties that you have never encountered while creating a AWS resources, like enable DNS support name, host name. These are the things that I don't think so you have encountered while creating a VPC, correct?
Right, right, right.
By creating VPC, we have seen like providing the VPC name, then VPC range, and what kind of tenancy you want, default or dedicated. That's it. We have all these three options only.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that you need to write here. And if you don't know what exactly, you can just click on here, and here you will find a description. It says that specify where DNS resolution is supported for the VPC, that is true, which is something like DNS host name, DHCP host name, and here is the DNS host name. So here you can also see, do you want this required to have no? That is, this is completely optional again. If you do not provide this information, then also your VPC will be created. If you have any custom thing available, then you can enable this option. Now the
Okay.
type is Boolean, which means true and false value is allowed for this particular kind of thing. For the instance tenancy, you have two values, that is default instance launched with any tenancy, and the dedicated, that is dedicated instance. So this kind of values is allowed, and this is a value of type. Now, if you want to see example, you can just click on here example, and here you can see. Here we are creating a my VPC. In the resources section, you are creating one VPC. The type is AWS EC2 VPC. Properties you can define one by one here. So let's see. I will just copy this code from it here, and here I will give a name like what kind of resource I am creating. My first resource is, let's say, VPC colon and write to scope. Okay. Now let me just format this once. Wait, it will not. So in my VPC section, I have type resource that is AWS EC2 VPC, and the properties will be required like CIDR block. Now I want to define a CIDR here. That's called 10.0.0.0/16. Do you want to enable DNS host name? True. Now this is a boolean, so you have option to write it directly, or also you can put it into double inverted comma. Both are true. Both are acceptable. But for a string type of thing, always you require a double inverted comma.
Okay.
True. Now this is a string. Now this string support two types of values. That is instantaneously. It accepts only two types of values. That is, one is default and second is dedicated. So we'll go with the default. Now tags. Now there's a special way to write a tag. That is an array again. You can see here. This is an array. You can just copy it here and paste it. Now you can change, like say my key is name and value of my is cf hyphen VPC. So my whatever whenever I will execute this code in CloudFormation, what will happen? A VPC will be created with a hard-coded value of 10.0.0.0/16 with this properties, default properties, true properties, and the name of this VPC will be cf-VPC. Now if I want to hard code this, so it will just format all this thing, and here you can see to mark this template VPC what are the resources that I have created. Now this is a hard-coded value, that is 10.0.0.16, and everything is hard-coded. Even if I share the same code with you and you try to execute the same code, you will get also the same VPC CIDR range and same VPC name. So to do that, I've just copied that, and here I'm pasting the everything here, and here you can see there is a refresh button. If I click on this refresh button, I can see here there is a VPC available. Now if I create one more resource called subnet, okay, I attached one subnet, two subnet, okay, and once I have created the subnet, this subnet will automatically go inside this VPC. If inside the subnet I want to create an EC2 instance, it will automatically go inside the subnet. So you will get the entire infrastructure graphically also here. Whatever the resources you will write here, you will automatically get all these things here. Okay. So once you have pasted your code here, the first thing I need to do is validate your CloudFormation. Now, what kind of validation it performs is like it says template is valid. If there is any mistake, you will find here a message, what exactly the message is. Now, what are the things that it validates is, it validates your JSON language, that all the things is based on the formatted JSON format or not. Then it checks whether what are the types you are creating, that is AWS EC2 VPC, AWS EC2 instance, whatever the things that you are creating, that is valid service or not. It checks only this kind of two things.
Okay.
Once the thing is validated and you get the template is valid, the next thing you need to do is you need to create a stack. With this button, you can create a stack.
Okay.
Okay, it will upload this code into S3, and you can click on next. Now you can give a name for, let's call demo 1. Click on next. If you want to add any tags, you can provide your tags. If you want to attach any role, you can attach a role, and all these things you can do here. Then click on next. This is a review page, and you can click on create tag. So it says the create is in process. Keep refreshing.
Okay.
You will find that here at 2:18:57 the create was in process. The stack was created. At 19:01, that is just 4 seconds after that, the VPC, it detects the VPC wants to create, and at 19:00, that is after 1 second, it says the resource creation initiated. So the VPC creation is initiated. If I refresh, then it says the VPC has been created successfully, and all the services that you have mentioned in the demo stack is created successfully. So the create is complete. Now if I see in the VPC, I must have VPC with CID range of 10.00.16 with the name of CF-template. CF-VPC. Here you can see the one is automatically got created 10.00.16 VPC, and DNS resolution name is enabled, DNS host name is enabled. So these things is already created, and with the tag also, like you can see, this is the name that I have given name CF-template. Now the logical ID which we have given to the VPC is VPC, and this is created by stack ID. So from where this resource has been created is created by this CloudFormation stack, and the name of the stack was demo1. So all this thing you will find it here. Okay. So this is how you can use this AWS CloudFormation to design your template. Now this is completely hard-coded part. This VPC CID blog and etc. thing. Now, if you want to make it customizable, then you can do by entering the parameters. So parameters.
Okay.
Now this is one key, and this is a part of one value. After this end of this value, there is one more key and another value. So to differentiate between this key and value, you need to enter the comma here, which says there are multiple values available. Okay. The same like we are doing, like here key, value, and after that whenever it goes to second line, we are providing the comma. The same thing we need to maintain here, discipline. Now here we are creating one parameter called VPC CIDR. Okay, where we are asking user to enter CIDR range. Next, we are also creating. Okay, let's go with one parameter. Now, what kind of string it is? It's a string. You can say. Wait. You can again search here in the AWS CloudFormation itself. AWS CloudFormation parameter. Now this is how you can just copy the parameter. There's type, what kind of type you want, etc. So let me just copy this here. So default is, for our case, it's a VPC. So we'll say the default is, let's say, descent 20.0.0.0/16, which means like if the user doesn't allow anything, it doesn't insert anything, then this kind of value will be applicable. We don't have any allowed values. Then in the description, I can say, please enter VPC range, and I formatted this part. Okay, so what will happen? Now this parameter will ask the user to enter a string. If the user entered the string, then it will consider that. Otherwise, it will use this value 20.0.0.16 to create a VPC. Now, this VPC CID we need to refer in our VPC. Okay, of course, otherwise it will create this VPC. So what we can do, we
We
can
are
create here.
replacing hard code value with parameter.
Exactly. So how to do that is we need to create an open braces, and there is a function called ref. So ref is a function that will refer to our parameter, colon, and whatever the unique name that you will provide here, you need to copy that and provide it here. And close the braces. Here it says there is an error. So what is an error? That if we are creating a VPC here, then we are opening a here and creating. So what is the error? Okay, I guess there is one extra. Yeah. Okay. Now whatever the string that you will provide here, if you provide here 30.0.0.16, then this value will be referred to VPC.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. There is something miss. Okay, so this is CID blog. Here you need to mention this part. So I will just remove this part, and here I want to refer VPC CID, copy, refer what? This refer and save. Okay, so in the section of the CID block, whatever the string that will be present here, it will be referred here.
Okay.
Let's see. We'll create one more stack now. Create a stack. Now, if you have saved this everything into a file, then you can just simply upload that template file here. Or if you don't have, you want to copy paste, then you can just simply click on designer. Template, copy this and paste it here. Again, the VPC, validate the template and create a stack. Okay, next. Now here it asks you the VPC name. That's called demo2. And whatever the parameter you are asking in your code, now this section will include all this data. That is, you are asking VPC CID and it says please enter VPC range. So here you can enter the data. If you want to go with a 20.0.0.16, you can go. Or if you want to change, let's say 40, okay, just click on here. Next. By default, everything. Next, and create stack. So it will now deploy one more code. It will create one more code with all the parameters that we have defined, that is 40.0.0.16. So VPC has been successfully created. If I go VPC and refresh, you can see there is one more VPC available, CF VPC 40.0.0.16. Correct? Everything is default.
Yeah, thank you.
Now you need to practice a lot about this CloudFormation, because
Yes.
a CloudFormation is always required whenever you are creating an infrastructure, whenever you are migrating your existing infrastructure on cloud. At the time, the first step is you need to design your infrastructure via this CloudFormation only. Now I have one template ready. I'll show you. This is a very big template. Now in this template, I have many parameters enabled. Like first parameter is VPC. This is a one group VPC. In this VPC, I have VPC range. That is what kind of range you want to enter. Enter a name for a VPC. Now this is VPC flow log. You can say VPC retention period 14. You can say here what kind of traffic you want to accept, allow, reject, or what kind of thing. Now public subnet. Now, as I told you, this is a public subnet, which means you need to select an availability zone. Now, based on the region, it will change. Correct? If you go into North Virginia, then there will be
Yeah.
6 availability. If it's
Right.
Mumbai, then
Right.
my template is designed in such a way that it doesn't require to hardcode all this availability zone. In whichever region I will go and execute this code, it will fetch all the availability zone automatically. Then availability zone management subnet. Now here you can see that there is a name, enter subnet name. Note name is preceded by management. So I have used a function called join. What it takes, whatever name now I will provide here, let's say demo or let's say prod. So this this subnet name will be management hyphen prod. If you have multiple environments in your infrastructure, like there is a production environment, there is a test environment, there is a staging environment, so you can define this separate environment within this via this thing. So what will happen, the name of this subnet will be management hyphen prod. If this is a test environment, then you can say management hyphen test. So you can see the subnet is used for the management purposes for creating a bash server, you can say. So here I define the purpose of that subnet and what kind of environment it suppose is a test. You can do that. So management server, that is you are creating a bash server. You can tag a bash server. Now here is the same thing. Name is preceded by bash. Okay. So let's say a bash prod. So bash hyphen prod will be the name of this server. Do you want a volume termination protection? True or false? You can say anything. EC2 termination protection. I want. Now instance type. In the slides, I have shown you you can enter any kind of value among the three. Remember that? T2
Yes. Yes.
micro, ember. At that time, user need to enter the data, correct? But here, I have given a list of all these instance styles available. Like you can see a
Yeah.
T2 micro, D1 small, empty, ember large, etc., etc. All these instances I have given. So user no need to enter the value. User can easily simple click on this value and it will be chosen automatically. So this is how you can create such kind of infrastructure. You can customize this thing, and you can use this same CloudFormation template to for reuse of your code for deploying multiple versions or multiple infrastructure for multiple clients.
Okay.
I'll share this today with you on the same email address, so you can have a look into it. And if you have any doubts, you can let me know.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's 8. Can we continue a little bit, or do you want me to continue tomorrow? Because I was supposed to cover cloud training was today, but it's already 8.
Yeah, can we do tomorrow if you don't mind? It's late night
Yeah.
for us.
Is it possible for you to join at 6 to 8 tomorrow, my
Sure.
time?
Sure. I can. I can.
Okay. Basically, Say is not joining. He said that he will join my next batch. So no doubt you are the
Okay.
only one. So we can have tomorrow session from 6 to 8 so that we can cover
Okay.
everything.
Sure.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.